Hi everyone, welcome to Straight Edge Tiki. Today I am in Lacey, Washington with my good friend Rick. He was on the show a little while back ago with his drink called the Italian Thunderstorm.
Italian Thunderstorm.
And it was really, really good. And Rick was like, yeah, I got another drink if you want to try that. And there's no special name for this.
Yeah, it's just a non-alcoholic.
Just a non-alcoholic mojito.
Yeah. Except, instead of the rum, I started experimenting with, rum substitutes.
Yes.
Non-alcoholic rum substitutes. And so, even though it's
I was starting to be concerned here. I'm like, hey, this is non-alcoholic, right? You know.
But what I did was I took about three-quarter cup of molasses.
Yeah.
5 cups of water. I chopped up a bunch of ginger root, and then about 5 cinnamon sticks, and cloves, and I put them all together and kind of steep them for about maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah.
And try to get all the flavors to blend, and then once I had that all prepared, I strained it and then put it into an old rum bottle that I had.
Yeah.
But then when I started trying to see what it was like to actually just replace rum with something like this, and it ended up turning out way better than I was could imagine.
Cool.
So it's like, all right, I'm going to start experimenting with a little bit more. I think I was going to try to maybe take a bunch of spiced chai tea,
yeah,
and and then steep that with the molasses and water, and add a little bit more spices to it. Or
so this is literally your own non-alcoholic rum.
Yeah.
A rum alternative.
Yeah.
Sweet. And for the record, normally what's in a mojito?
Normally it would be your rum,
yeah,
and then you'd have either a mojito mix or some type of the sweetener, yeah, that goes along with it, and then it's topped off with a like a club soda or something along those lines, which I'll grab a LaCroix limoncello,
yeah,
because it also adds a little bit of the the lemony type of flavor, because we're talking more citrus, yeah, with that. And
mint,
and some mint. So I pulled the mint out of
yeah
my garden out in the back, and so we can kind of take some of the sprigs and break it up and put it in there if we'd like, and and then
some lime.
Some lime. So we've got some lime as well too.
Well, the cool thing about this particular drink is a lot of times, say someone who doesn't, they're new to not drinking. Sometimes, like you say to them, "Hey, do you want a non-alcoholic Mai Tai?" They'd be like, what's a Mai Tai or something like that. Or, hey, do you want this concoction that I just came up with? They'd be like, what? But it's nice when you can be like, hey, do you want a non-alcoholic mojito? Right. Oh, I know what a mojito is. Okay, all right, I'll make that.
Yeah.
Or even like with the last drink that we had, is like the dark and spicy.
Right.
Oh, it's a dark and stormy, non-alcoholic. Okay, I know what that is.
Right.
And even when it comes to like cocktails, even like tiki drinks in general, a lot of times people, they're a little unsure, they don't know what to get,
Right.
And, just like talking about the Devil's Reflex, see, you go there and you look at all these original drinks, you're going to be like,
it's overwhelming.
It's overwhelming. You're like, well, what are all these things, Mm-hmm. And it's always kind of nice. I always think it's nice when it's like, at least on any kind of like tiki menu, at least you have some standards that's like, okay, there's a pina colada on there, even a painkiller, mm-hmm. Or a zombie or a Mai Tai. And a mojito is probably like one of the most popular, summer drinks that there is. Not necessarily tiki so much, but it's more, I'd say it's like tiki adjacent,
Right.
I mean, it's something that's a light, crisp, refreshing drink, kind of like a Capriano, or what is it, Capriano, or Capriino from Brazil?
Right. Yeah. Or even gin and tonics. If you're wanting, something with some alcohol, but it's a great summery drink.
Yeah. So, all the ingredients that we have for this, what do we got?
So we've got the rum substitute.
The rum substitute.
Then we have the mojito mix and our other shot. And then we've got lime. We've got the sprigs of mint. And then I need to grab the limoncello real quick. So I'll let you squeeze your own lime here.
So squeeze this right off the bat.
Yeah, squeeze it right in there.
Just squeeze it in before I do anything.
Yeah.
And just throw it in, right?
Just throw it in. then I'm just going to take a couple of sprigs of
Okay.
the
And just put it in there.
just
right?
kind of put it in there.
See, there's a drink you can have your guests make themselves. You know, like, and just pour the whole thing in.
Just pour the whole thing in.
Dude, that's dark.
It is. So it's a little bit different than what you would normally see in your regular.
And then the mojito mix.
Yep, the mojito mix.
Just right in there.
Yep, just.
Okay.
And then I'm just going to put a little top of the limoncello.
And that's how you sell it, limoncello.
Limoncello.
Even though it looks like limoncello.
And then I'm just going to stir it up a little bit.
And can you do me a favor? Can you pour me some of this? I want to try your non-alcoholic rum by itself before I try the Mojito. Dude, that is dark.
It is. we can have that with our fajitas.
Mojitos. So let me try this by itself. Oh man. I'll tell you what. That would be an excellent like rum substitute. Probably some of the best that I've had yet, actually. This is really good. I mean, it doesn't taste like rum. I'm going to say that, but but it does have the molasses notes, though.
Right, which is when you think about what is used in the base for making rums, it's either the sugar cane juice or it's molasses.
There's a bite in this too. What's the bite?
It's probably the cloves. Either
clove, yeah, that would make sense.
Cloves or ginger,
or both.
Yeah,
because that's the main thing that I always kind of see when it comes to the drinks is like something to give you that bite, and it's funny. It's actually making my tongue a little numb.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. All right, enough of me jabbering. Let me try this drink. Here's to you.
Cheers.
And Amy, who's off camera still.
Yeah.
She's still sick. She's still not feeling well, even though this video will be like weeks after. God damn. That's great.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what, I mean it's pretty strong for what it like by itself.
Right.
But like in with everything else, it totally works.
Yeah. And what's interesting, we were talking about
unbelievably balanced because like as I'm drinking it, I can still taste your non-alcoholic rum. I can taste the lime, I could taste the mint. And almost like the mojito syrup is almost kind of like the body for it.
Right.
It's a lot darker.
It is.
It's probably the darkest mojito I've ever drank, but this is great.
And what was interesting, the first time I started making these and trying it, and when the times that I have had non-alcoholic drinks in the evening, where I was thinking, I want something to kind of relax me a little bit.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones weren't kind of fulfilling that need of, I'm going to settle down and relax. Once I started drinking these, which are non-alcoholic, I was like, after a couple of them, I was like, man, I'm just relaxed without the buzz of alcohol and things like that. I don't know if it's just the whole drink or if it's the rum substitute that I created, but the drinks themselves just really seem to put you in a really relaxed, mellow, casual state after having a couple of them.
And that's saying something, because usually it's the alcohol,
right,
that calms you down.
Right. But
then okay. Well, that brings up a good point, Rick. It's just sort of like maybe there's something to be said about just like the whole process of like, okay, I'm going to sit here. I'm not going to do anything except drink this drink. So it almost kind of forces you to like slow down.
Right.
And maybe that alone, could be what relaxes you.
Right.
Because the interesting thing, I mean, let's be honest here, there's still definitely sugar in this. Mm-hmm. So the sugar is not relaxing you.
Right. But, there's not as much sugar in it as you would expect. The molasses itself, I think it was only 60 or 70 calories per tablespoon of that. But you think, I had 3/4 of a cup, with 5 cups of water. So it's not even getting, that much of the molasses calories out of it. So overall, it shouldn't be that that high calorie of a drink when the Mojito mix is 50 calories for a couple ounces. So
Yeah.
50 calories plus maybe 20, 30 calories on the other stuff. So maybe less than 100 calories for that drink.
I'll tell you what, Rick. Your rum alternative is the closest thing I've tasted now that is going onto that track of tasting like rum. And
so I should start bottling it.
you should totally, in your own bottle.
Not Mount Gay.
And anyone, if you want the recipe, you got to reach out to him, not me. But dude, this is great. And as I said, it's the darkest mojito I've ever had, but it's really, really good. I really like it. And there's that bite. There's that bite that's there that slows you down.
Yeah.
And, well, what can I say? You knocked it out of the park again.
Sounds good.
All right, Rick. Thank you. Thank you again for coming on the show.
Yeah, it was my pleasure, and I had a lot of fun, and I've loved watching all of your other ones. So.
Yeah, well, let's not get drunk now. Hey everyone, just want to let you know that if you're interested in getting a straight edge Tiki shirt, you could buy your own over at my website, tikiwithray.com/buy a shirt. They're $20 plus $8 shipping.